Hands where I can see them. I live here. Don't move. They slammed him into the hood of the patrol car, in front of the house he'd lived in for 7 years. Because a neighbor said he didn't belong. Because no one believed that a boy with his skin could live in that zip code. He was 15. No weapon. No crime. Just a hoodie, a key, and the wrong face. Subscribe and tell us where you're watching us from. Devin was walking home from track practice. Same route as always. Down Crestwood Avenue, left on Fernhill, past the mailbox with the cracked top. He had his backpack on. Headphones in. Key in hand. The neighborhood was quiet. Lawn sprinklers hissing. Golden light falling across driveways. He stepped onto the porch. Reached for the door. That's when the squad car swerved in. Tires screamed. Doors flung open. Hands where I can see them. Devin turned, startled. What? Get on the ground. Now. I live here. He dropped his backpack. Raised his hands. 2 officers closed in. You trying to break in? This is my house. One of them grabbed his arm. The other twisted his wrist behind his back. He winced. My key's in my pocket. Ask my mom. Please. They didn't ask. They shoved him against the hood. Face pressed to metal. Heart racing. Mouth dry. Across the street, a neighbor peeked through her blinds. No one came out. The taller cop radioed in. Suspect detained. Possible 459 in progress. Blackmail. Hoodie. Backpack. Devin struggled. It's not a robbery. I live here. Look. Check the address. No one listened. They cuffed him. Dragged him to the back seat. Still wearing his school ID. Still holding his house key. 5 minutes later, a white SUV pulled up. His mother stepped out. Panicked. Devin? She ran to the cruiser. That's my son. The cop turned. Ma'am, do you know this individual? She stared. You put handcuffs on a child. My child. The officer blinked. We received a call about suspicious behavior. From who? He didn't answer. The other officer released Devin. No apology. No acknowledgement. They uncuffed him. Dropped his backpack at his feet. Then drove off. No report filed. No paperwork. Just asphalt and shame. That night, Devin sat on the porch in silence. Key still in his hand. And whispered. They didn't see a kid. They saw a suspect. The next morning, Devin's mother called the precinct. She was calm. Precise. I want to file a complaint. 2 officers detained my son yesterday for entering his own home. The dispatcher paused. Can you give me the report number? There was no report. They just left. Then we may not have a record. She held the phone tighter. So he gets slammed into a car, cuffed in front of his house, and you don't log it? Ma'am, without an incident report, I can't escalate. She hung up. Drove straight to the station. Devin sat beside her in the lobby, arms folded, eyes low. A sergeant approached. We looked into your concern. No file was created, but I assure you, our officers acted on a 911 call. I want the call log. He frowned. That would require a formal request. It takes time. I have time. He shifted. Sometimes, misunderstandings happen. She leaned forward. He had a house key in his hand. That's not a misunderstanding. That's profiling. The sergeant said nothing. Back home, Devin walked to the mailbox. Mr. Langston, the neighbor across the street, stood by his hedge. Nodded once. Rough night? Devin stayed quiet. Langston added. Just some advice, son. In this neighborhood, it helps not to look out of place. Devin stared. I've lived here since I was 8. Langston shrugged. People don't always see what's in front of them. They see what they expect. Devin turned away. Went inside. His mother sat at the kitchen table. We're filing the request anyway. Call logs. Body cam footage. Everything. He nodded. What if it's gone? She looked at him. Then we write it down before they can erase it. Devin grabbed a notebook. On the cover, he wrote. Not a suspect, August 14th. Page 1. Time, 6:32 p.m. Location, front porch. Description, 2 officers, unmarked car, no warning. Actions, hands raised. Key visible. Slammed. Cuffed. At the bottom he added. They didn't see my name. Just my skin. His mom placed her hand on his. We don't wait for justice. We record the injustice. Outside, the wind moved the leaves. But inside, they started building a file they never thought they'd need. 5 days later, the public records request came through. Envelope. Stamped. CD enclosed. Labeled. 911 audio, August 14th, Crestwood and Fernhill. Devin's mother played it on her laptop. Speakers low. Volume sharp. A woman's voice. Yes, I'd like to report something. There's a suspicious individual outside 743 Fernhill. Black male. Hoodie. Backpack. Trying to get into the house. Dispatcher. Is he breaking in? I'm not sure. He's standing there like he's waiting or checking the door. Any weapons? Not that I can see. Is anyone else with him? No. But this is a quiet neighborhood. I don't think he belongs there. Silence. Then the dispatcher. Officers en route. Click. Devin stood across the room. He whispered. I don't think he belongs. His mom looked up. She didn't see fear. She saw color. They emailed a copy to the police department. Attach a note. You acted on a suspicion based on race. We want accountability. No reply. Devin added a page to his notebook. 911 transcript. Caller didn't describe a crime. Just a person. Me. Next morning, they passed by the same house. The lawn with garden flags. Porch chairs untouched. His mom looked at him. Should we knock? He shook his head. They already said enough. Later that night, Devin opened his laptop. Googled the phrase, suspicious black male hoodie. Thousands of hits. Trayvon Martin. Christian Cooper. Countless unnamed. He whispered. I could have been next. His mom joined him. Together, they created a folder. The accusation of existing. Inside. 911 audio. Screenshot of house address. Map showing his daily walking route. School schedule. Practice attendance. They build a case. Not for court, but for memory. Devin wrote. They called me dangerous for coming home. And she dialed 3 numbers. They came with handcuffs. At school, he walked slower in the halls. Teachers didn't ask why. One friend whispered. My mom said you were in trouble. He answered. Only if walking with brown skin is a crime. No one laughed. Because now, everyone understood the punchline. The email came from the assistant principal. Subject, behavioral concerns, Devin Clark. His mother sat across from him in the office. We've noticed a change in Devin's demeanor. He's been quiet. Withdrawn. She folded her arms. He was slammed against a car for opening his own front door. The counselor jumped in. Of course, we're not blaming him, but we have to consider his adjustment. Adjustment to what? Being profiled? The assistant principal cleared his throat. Sometimes, students thrive better in an environment that offers more support. Smaller classes. Targeted behavioral guidance. She stared. You're suggesting transfer. He nodded slowly. Voluntary. Just a different setting. A school with more resources for students facing stressors. Devin sat silent, then asked, Is this because I didn't smile this week? The counselor leaned forward. We just want what's best for you. He answered. What's best would have been not getting cuffed for living. Back home, they updated the folder. Section title, redirection disguised as help. New file. Email screenshot. Transcription of meeting. Notes labeled voluntary pressure equals removal without paperwork. Devin added. They don't fix the fear. They just relocate the kid it happened to. That night, his mother got a call from another parent. I heard what happened. If you ever need to talk. She replied. Did you call the station? Silence. Then, I didn't want to get involved. Click. At school, Devin kept to himself. Art teacher noticed. Asked if he wanted to sketch something for the classroom board. He drew a door and a police car in front of it. Hands raised. Underneath, he wrote. Permission to be home. Denied. It stayed up for 2 days. Then quietly removed. No one said why. At home, he added a drawing to the archive. Labeled it. Self-portrait, not welcome here. His mom asked, Do you want to leave that school? He looked up. No. I want them to see me until they stop flinching. They submitted the complaint on a Monday. Typed. Signed. Hand-delivered to the City Civilian Review Board. Subject line. Unlawful detainment. Devin Clark, minor, August 14th. The clerk at the desk stamped it. You'll receive a confirmation email within 48 hours. They didn't. On day 3, she called. We don't show anything under that name. We delivered it in person. Could you try resubmitting? She hung up. No apology. No explanation. That same week, Devin noticed a patrol car on their street. Tuesday, then Thursday, then Saturday. Always parked 2 houses down. Engine running. Windows up. No calls nearby. He told his mom. She looked out the window. Badge number? He nodded. 7,142. Same one from that night. She took a photo. Saved it in the archive. Reappearance, same officer. No incident reported. Next day, the car returned. Parked for 17 minutes. Didn't move. Devin stood on the porch. Just stood. Watched them back. No interaction. Just presence. He went inside. Wrote. They left the cuffs but brought back the eyes. His mom called the station. Is there an active patrol assigned to Fernhill this week? All units rotate by district priority. What's the priority on a street with no calls? The voice on the line stalled. I can't release deployment specifics, ma'am. She hung up. Printed the photo. Added it to a new folder. Pattern behavior, visual surveillance without costs. Then, she wrote an email. To City Council. To the Mayor's Community Liaison. Attached. Complaint PDF. Body of email detailing timeline. Photos. Audio clip from 911 call. Subject. Second attempt. This one goes public if ignored. Within 12 hours, someone responded. Not a name. Just a title. Office of Risk Management. Request acknowledged. No apology. No next step. But Devin wrote. If they can't erase the fear, they'll try to outlast the memory. He looked at his mom. Should we move? She shook her head. Not yet. Let them be the ones uncomfortable for once. The first letter came in a white envelope. Stamped with the HOA seal. Polite tone. This is a courtesy notice regarding visible waste bins. Please return receptacles to their designated location within 24 hours of collection. They always did. Every week. The second letter came 4 days later. We've received a neighbor's concern about excessive noise after 8 p.m. Devin had been playing the piano. With headphones. His mom called the HOA office. Can I ask which neighbor reported this? We don't disclose sources. It's a confidentiality thing. We're being targeted. The voice on the phone shifted. Ma'am, these are standard procedures. You're not being singled out. She hung up. Saved both letters. Created a folder. HOA paper pressure, non-compliance without violation. Next week, they received another notice. Your lawn is approaching non-compliant length per community agreement. They'd cut it 2 days earlier. Devin mowed it again that afternoon. Measured every blade. Took photos. He smiled without joy. You think they want us to leave? His mom replied. I think they want us to disappear. That night, they checked the neighborhood forum. One thread stood out. Recent incidents, keeping our community safe. A user wrote. We've had some disturbances lately. Let's make sure we maintain standards and awareness. No names. No details. But the message was clear. Devin screenshotted. Labeled. Digital dog whistles, community code speak. He added a note. You don't have to say my name when I'm the only one here who looks like me. At school, things stayed cold. No more teacher invites. No more class projects. Devin handed in his essay. The day I was mistaken for a stranger. The teacher returned it with a blank note. Interesting. Could use more objectivity. He rewrote it anyway. But for himself. New title. They pretend it's about rules. But it's about me. At home, his mom installed a camera above the door. Not to record crime. To record proof. She said. If they're going to try and erase us, we'll save every file they send. The school announced a student assembly for Voices of Reflection Week. Open mic. 3-minute limit. All grades invited. Devin's English teacher handed him the flyer. No eye contact. He stared at it. At home, he pulled out his essay. The unedited one. Title. I was treated like a stranger in my own skin. His mother read it. Didn't say a word. Just nodded once. If you read this, you're not invisible anymore. He stepped on stage second. The gym was half full. Teachers along the wall. Students shifting in plastic chairs. He looked down at the paper. Then looked up. My name is Devin Clark. I've lived on Fernhill for 7 years. On August 14th, I was detained by police on my porch. I had a key in my hand. My school ID was around my neck. But none of that mattered. Silence. He kept going. Someone called 911 and said I didn't belong. Someone watched me live and decided I was a threat. The officers didn't ask questions. They asked for compliance. Murmurs in the crowd. He didn't stop. When I went back to school, teachers avoided my eyes. When I spoke, they called me emotional. When I went quiet, they called me unstable. He closed the page. I'm not asking for change. I'm proving what's broken. And walked off stage. No applause. No noise. Just stillness. The next day, his mother got a call. Vice Principal. We appreciate Devin's honesty. Though some of the language was intense. She replied. What part? The part where he told the truth? Click. Later, Devin found a folded note in his locker. Thank you. I never knew how to say it out loud. No signature. He added it to the archive. Folder. Echo when they finally heard. At home, he wrote a new entry. Silence doesn't protect you. It just makes them comfortable. He scanned the essay, uploaded it to a private link, shared it with 3 teachers who'd stopped talking to him. 2 opened it. 1 responded, "You're braver than we deserve." Devin saved that message and said nothing, because now they knew. He wouldn't whisper anymore. The knock came at 10:42 a.m. 2 people on the porch. Clipboards. Badges. Good morning. We're from Child Protective Services. We received an anonymous report. Possible concern regarding home environment. Devin's mom froze. What kind of concern? The woman looked at her sheet. Emotional neglect. Exposure to hostile narratives. Potential instability in school adjustment. She stepped back. You mean, because my son told the truth? The man added. We're not here to judge. Just to assess. They walked in. Checked the kitchen. Asked to see Devin's room. He stood in the hallway. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. The woman smiled too much. Do you feel safe here? He answered. Safer than outside. She wrote that down. 20 minutes. Photos. Questions. Then they left a card. We'll be in touch once the file is reviewed. No explanation. No apology. Just official language and closed doors. His mother called the city office. Who submitted the report? That information is protected. So anyone can weaponize a lie? Silence. Then, it's protocol, ma'am. She hung up, opened the archive, created a new folder. State power, harassment through policy. Inside, CPS business card. Entry logs from 10:42 a.m. Notes labeled anonymous weaponization. Devin sat at the kitchen table. They're not stopping. She looked at him. Then neither are we. That night, she called a civil rights attorney. Sent the full case file. Explained everything. The lawyer responded in 4 words. I've seen this before. They scheduled a consultation. Devin updated the notebook. New page. Home visit. When truth becomes a threat. He wrote, I'm not unsafe. I'm uncomfortable for them. At school, rumors spread. Someone said, I heard CPS came to your house. He nodded. They came for the wrong family. The kid looked away. Because even at 15, Devin knew. This wasn't about care. It was about control. The lawyer's name was Melinda Cross. Direct. Measured. Unshakable. She reviewed Devin's archive, then nodded. You've built more than a case. You've built a defense no one asked for because they knew you'd need it. She filed 2 formal motions. 1. Public records request to identify the source of the CPS complaint. 2. Inquiry to internal affairs regarding use of patrol resources for non-criminal surveillance. Within days, a response came. Request received. Estimated response time, 6 to 8 weeks. Delay tactics. Standard play. But the next morning, the patrol car returned. Same car. Same spot. Different officer. He didn't get out. Just sat. Watched. Devin took a photo. Saved it to the archive. Surveillance pattern, phase 2. The lawyer advised. Don't approach. Don't react. Document only. They did. 2 more nights, the car returned. Always just after sunset. Always stayed 17 minutes. Always left with no interaction. His mother sent a letter to city council. This time, with legal header. Attached. Timeline of patrol activity. Photo evidence. Archive excerpts. Subject. This is what intimidation looks like when it wears a badge. No reply. But one city staffer, off record, emailed. Stay loud. They're hoping you get tired first. That night, Devin updated his notebook. Wrote, every time they circle our block, they tell me I matter. Because if I didn't, they wouldn't still be watching. At school, no one mentioned the assembly anymore. But in art class, a new student came up. My cousin told me what you did. He said you gave them the words he couldn't say. Devin nodded. I wasn't trying to speak for anyone. Yeah, but you still did. Later, his mom opened the archive folder labeled Final Steps Before Release. She added legal filings, officer photos, voice memos of CPS visit. Devin scanned notebook pages. She turned to him. Once this is published, we can't go back. He answered. Then let's make it impossible for them to pretend it didn't happen. Because now, they weren't waiting for justice. They were riding through it. No officer was disciplined. No neighbor apologized. No letter from the school ever arrived. But Devin's name was now in places they couldn't touch. His archive was uploaded to a public rights platform, flagged as Youth Racial Profiling Verified Case Record. It included audio from the 911 call, photos of the patrol car, HOA letters, CPS visit report, legal filings, a scanned copy of his speech, title, The Porch, the Patrol, and the Pattern. Within 72 hours, it had over 6,000 downloads. One civil rights group contacted them. Can we use this for educational outreach? His mother replied, use it to make them remember. A high school teacher messaged, I'm assigning Devin's essay in my government class. He responded, make sure they don't grade it for tone. They laughed, but it wasn't a joke. The patrol car didn't return. The HOA letters stopped. CPS never followed up. It wasn't peace. It was retreat. Because the paper trail they built couldn't be burned. It lived too many places now. At dinner, Devin asked, do you think they still think I don't belong? His mom answered, no. They just hope you stop reminding them that you do. He printed his notebook, found the pages, title on the front. I was always home. He gave a copy to his school librarian. Didn't ask, just left it on the desk. A month later, a student came up to him in the hallway. I read it. He nodded. Did it help? Yeah. I didn't know what this felt like until someone named it. Devin smiled. Because that was the point. He was never trying to be heard. He was making sure the next kid wasn't alone. And maybe the badge never apologized. Maybe the system never flinched. But it remembered him now. Because he made it impossible to forget. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that inspire action and hope.